Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another live stream and welcome to all your latest Chelsea transfer news. Big up to everyone that's locked in on this Saturday afternoon. Make sure you're smashing the likes. Make sure you subscribe if you're new around here. And as always, get involved in the chat. And we've got a packed show, people. Reportedly, Chelsea are going to try and complete a deal for Marc Guehi after the Club World Cup. We've got the latest on a supposed rejected bid for Lazio centre-half Mario Gila. 35 million euros apparently has been rejected, according to reports in Italy. Plus, we have also got the latest on Kendry Paez, who now will be going to the Club World Cup with Chelsea, but he's not registered to play. So he's just going to stay with the team and join in the training session. So there's been a bit of a U-turn there. Make of that what you will. Plus, we've also got the latest on Joao Pedro with Brighton centre-back Igor Tudor saying that Pedro's told him that he really wants to live in London. So he's going to prioritise that first when thinking of his next move. So does that potentially put Chelsea back in the picture? I don't know. But before we dive into it, chat, just a quick reminder as always, check out Jerseys FC Soccer Shop. Link is in the description. Use code BLUEBROTHER for 20% off the new Chelsea home shirt. Make sure you're looking fresh for the new season. Great quality, affordable prices. Get name, numbers, patches, whatever you want. Use code BLUEBROTHER, 20% off Jerseys FC Soccer Shop. Make sure you do it, people. Right, let's say hello to a few of you in the chat, and then we'll get the show on the road. Where did you get this news from? Out of nowhere. Bro, we're not going to sign him now. Yeah, Tell's gone. We do. We got the latest on Joel Hato as well. Yes, big up. Yes, afternoon, brother. Hope you're doing well. Yes, big up, Stuart. Yes, big up. Yeah, we do need a new centre back. We do. I need to sign Guehi. Yeah, I hear you. Basically, we're gonna try to get Guehi for 35. I mean, yeah. Let's see. We're gonna dive into it. Marc Guehi wouldn't be a ridiculous signing. No, absolutely wouldn't. Yes, big up. Matty fucking Dav in the building. What's happening, brother? Hope you're doing well, bro. Hope you're doing well. Can't lie, bro. I'm a little bit gutted we're not out in America for the Club World Cup. Now that I've seen like people out there and stuff, it's yeah, shit. I kind of wish I was going. Bro, I'll buy a fanzine from Jacob when Arsenal win a Champions League. That's my answer, bro. That's it. So when Arsenal win a Champions League, I'll buy a fanzine from Jacob. Yeah, to be fair, it's a good thought, isn't it? It's a good thought. But bro, yeah, bro, I'll give you a ring next week, brother. And if we get past the group, maybe we should think about it. Guehi, the most logical and signing that makes sense, but he's not tall enough. Yeah, apparently he's not tall enough. Anyway. Let's do this. Let's do this, chat. Marc Guehi, because it's been a little bit quiet. Now, I get accused by people in the chat of being Marc Guehi's agent, on being on Marc Guehi's payroll, on doing Marc Guehi prop and pushing his move to Chelsea. So, it's been a little bit quiet in terms of centre-back updates. It's not really been much at all. We know that we explored a move for Guehi in January, opted against it, decided he was too expensive, and instead we recalled Trevor Chalobah. Now, this is the first real concrete news we've had on Guehi for a while. And let me just bring it up now. So it's from Give Me Sport, an exclusive from them. Chelsea are aiming to sign Crystal Palace star Marc Guehi for a cut price fee. Of course we are. Any chance of signing someone on a cut price fee, we'll have a look. Of course we'll have a look. So yeah, this article is saying, chat, that have I just internet gone gash there? No, we're good. Of course we'll have a look. Chelsea are aiming to sign Crystal Palace captain Marc Guehi for a cut price fee after the Club World Cup. What else is it saying here? Chelsea are eyeing a good value deal for Guehi this summer, with members of the recruitment department aiming to use his contract situation to their advantage. Well, it works so well with Mike Maignan. Maybe second time's a charm. It'll be second time lucky. Use his contract situation to their advantage and are setting their sights on luring him back to Stamford Bridge. Guehi's in the last 12 months of his contract. Chelsea are huge admirers of the 24-year-old, but are not prepared to pay over the odds for him. Yeah, we know Spurs had a 70 mil bid rejected. Yep. Chelsea have also shown interest in Branthwaite and Thomas Araujo, but Givey Sports sources have learned that there is an internal feeling they'll be more difficult to recruit than Guehi due to their employers not wanting to cash in or holding out for a release clause. Chelsea could wait until after the Club World Cup before signing Guehi, but they're confident that there's little chance of him embarking on a fresh challenge early in the summer window, with Chelsea adamant they've got time to assess alternative options. Well, this all sounds very promising for Uncle Mark. However, I would be concerned if we sort of just chill, sit back, feet up, and think that nothing's going to happen until next month, and he's not going to sign for another team, or another team's not going to go in for him. That's the problem that I've got. We are linked with a lot of players. There's no denying that. I mean, nah, bro. To be fair, again, it depends. It depends on the writers. Certain writers for certain websites are decent. So you could have a website which might not be the most reputable, but if you've got reputable writers that have written it, then that's obviously a different conversation. Yeah, I might do some. I think I'll do some. I think some of the kickoff times are decent. Some of the kickoff times are decent. But yes, I probably will. And I would have liked it as well. Yes, run those likes up, chat. No chance with our recruitment buffoons. No, we'll probably bid like 30 million and then do a take it or leave it. Yeah, bro, to be fair, we do. We are linked with a lot of players. But yeah, I mean, I thought we had Champions League money, but we're penny pinching on every single deal, it seems. So we'll have to wait and see how this one pans out. But I'm optimistic that a deal for Guehi is very possible. My only thing would be, if Guehi's your guy and you want him, why would you not just push forward and try and get a deal done as quickly as possible? That's the thing for me. Surely you'd want to get a deal done as quickly as possible. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm looking forward to seeing Mamadou Sarr, by the way. I'm looking forward to seeing him. I saw a bit of him at Strasbourg and he looked decent. But yeah, it wasn't, I don't know. He's only 19. He's not played outside of France. It's going to be it's going to be a big step up for him. Premier League, different way of playing, different caliber of players he's coming up against. Look, I'm excited about Sarr. I think there's big potential there. But this idea that Sarr is going to benchmark Guehi for me if he joined is ridiculous. Yes, Mario Gila on the thumbnail. We'll get into that conversation shortly. Could we see Chalobah going the other way? The situation surrounding Chalobah is different this summer. Matt Law was reporting that compared to previous summers, Chelsea are not looking to actively sell Chalobah. They've not offered him out for clubs. The same situation with Petrovic. They can't offer him any guarantees of football, but they're not actively looking to sell Chalobah, which is a big difference from previous situations. A massive difference from previous summers where Chelsea have actively looked to get rid of him. Bro, Guehi is absolutely... I don't understand where all this Guehi hate comes from. This is a proven Premier League player, an England international, captain Crystal Palace to the first ever trophy in their history, and yet people are talking to me like he's shit. It's mad. Bro, Araujo's going to cost you way more. He's got an 80 million euro release clause in his Benfica contract. He's going to cost you considerably more than Marc Guehi is. But yeah, look, these are the first real links in terms of there is going to be a reshuffle at centre-back. There's no doubt about it. The likes of, obviously, Renato Vega and Axel Disasi are set to leave. Benoit Badiashile is an uncertainty surrounding his future. And then there's also, you know, would Chelsea sell Tosin if a deal came in? If an offer came in for him, it's going to be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Because it seems like we're signing centre-backs every fucking summer. Every window. It feels like Chelsea are linked with centre-backs. We've signed so many of them. I really feel like we just need to get a settled core. We need to get a settled core, and we just need to crack on. You know, we can't keep signing centre-backs every single window. We need to move away from that. We need to move away from that. We've got to move away from that. You know, we simply have to. We've got to get a settled core. And for me, if it was down, if I was making the choices, we'd have Fofana, Colwell, Chalobah, Guehi, and Mamadou Sarr. That would be my 5 if I was in charge. And that means Badiashile, Tosin, Disasi, and Vega all sold. All sold. Those 4 centre-backs would be going. Sarr, Colwell, Fofana, Chalobah, Guehi. That would be my 5 centre-backs at Chelsea next season if I was a sporting director, if I was in charge of recruitment. Obviously, I'm not in charge of recruitment. I'm not a sporting director. I'm just giving my opinions. But that, for me, chap, is what I think is absolutely the best situation. Absolutely the best situation. Tosin's not better than Guehi. Yeah, Tosin was free. I wouldn't have an issue if he stayed, by the way. But yeah, I think he'll be. I think he'll be sold, to be honest. If a big offer comes in and we look to bring someone else in, that's the way that I see it. But obviously, people have got different opinions. People think Branthwaite's the best thing since sliced bread. People, yeah, I don't know, chat. I don't know. What I do know is those who haven't got enough likes. So make sure you're smashing that like button. 164 in the building. Big up to every single one of you who is locked in right now. And keep subscribing if you're new as well. But let's get this up over 100 likes. Do I think Gyökeres? Do you think if Arsenal get Gyökeres, they might win the league? Nah, it's Arsenal. They won't. So yeah, that is the latest chat. Look, I like Branthwaite, by the way, but he's nowhere near as good as Marc Guehi. He could be better than Marc Guehi in a few years' time. There's no doubt about it. But given the lack of centre-backs, you know, at England's disposal right now, the fact that Branthwaite doesn't even get in the squad is a concern. The fact that he doesn't get in the squad is a concern. You know, if he's so good, like people say he is, why is he not getting picked for England? I think that's a perfectly legitimate question to ask. Why would you not get picked for England if he's so good, chap? Yeah, I can guarantee, right? If Guehi wasn't a Cobham graduate and he was like French and he was Marc Guehi or something like that people would be like, "Oh my God, sign this guy! What a deal this is! You can't wait to get him on board." Bro, 100%. But so many people just can't see it. This is honestly, the levels of delusion of some people is baffling. In what planet is Tosin better than Guehi? Please tell me. Please tell me. And don't tell me, oh, he's taller or he's better in the air, so therefore Tosin's better. As overall footballers, right, when you take everything into account, Guehi is much better than Tosin. It's not even a debate. It's not even a debate. He's significantly better than Tosin. Sure, Tosin might be better in the air, but football's not played in the air. You know, that's not the only aspect of the game. So yeah, anyway, but that's the latest on Guehi. That's the latest on Guehi. And he suits the system perfectly. He suits the system perfectly, chat, because he can play in a 2 and he can play in a 3. So when we invert from the left or the right, he's comfortable in a back 3 as well, and he's equally comfortable in a back 2. So yeah, it ticks all the boxes. It literally ticks all the boxes that that Chelsea are looking for. It ticks all the boxes, chat. But look, it's early days still. The window doesn't officially open again until Monday. So Monday the window will reopen, and then we'll be going from there. We'll be going from there. Yes, we do when we're in possession. It goes to a back 3. Come on, bro. It goes to a back. So when Cucurella inverts into midfield, we go into a back 3. Or when Reece James or Gusto inverts into midfield, it goes into a back 3. So a back 4 out of possession, but in possession, it's a 3 when the fullback inverts into midfield. This is basic. We play a 3 at the back in possession. Out of possession, it's a 4. In possession, it's a 3. Yeah, bro, people are using the height card. People are talking like height's so important. Like, Tosin's not even that good in the air. All right, he might be better than Guehi in the air, but he's not better than... He's not, like, amazing. Being tall doesn't mean you're amazing in the air. It's about your timing and about your reading of the game. And those things are far more important than fucking being tall. You know, JT and Thiago Silva never had pace, but defenders rarely got the better of them because they could read the game so well. And that's what it's about ultimately. It's about reading the game and your in-game intelligence. Those are the most important things, chat. I don't want someone just because, oh, they're tall or whatever, you know? It's about your overall quality as a player. You don't need to be tall to be good in the air. You don't. You literally do not need to be tall to be good in the air. No, he's not a left back. Bro, I don't know what you're not understanding. He'd play left centre back in a 3 or right centre back or central centre back, whatever it is. Maybe. Bro, we're not going to get Murillo. Look, there's been talk about Murillo. There's definitely interest in Murillo. Yeah, there's definitely an English, there's definitely an anti-English thing when it comes to signing certain players. There 100% is, 100% is, and that's not even me making it up. You know, people do look at English players differently. They look at Cobham players differently. If Guehi wasn't English or he wasn't from Cobham, the conversation surrounding him would be totally different. Yes, big up, brother. Hope you're well. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens. But I would expect there to be movement on Guehi certainly over the next couple of weeks, one way or another. Whether it's involving Chelsea or whether it's not involving Chelsea, I expect there to be movement over Marc Guehi's future in the next few weeks. So we'll wait and see what happens. But this is definitely the first sort of concrete reports that have emerged on Guehi and Chelsea for a good while now. And let's just wait and see. Let's wait and see where those links go. Let's wait and see where those links go. But anyway, from one centre-back to another centre-back. Because apparently So these are some. So Chelsea have reportedly had a 35 million euro bid. I mean, I can't find the exact report now. It was from an outlet in Italy, but I just thought I'd bring up some stats on Mario Gila. So basically, Gila, the Lazio centre half, Chelsea have reportedly had a 35 million euro offer rejected. Bournemouth had 40 million euros turned down. Lazio are believed to be holding out for 50 million euros for the 24-year-old. Spurs, PSG, and Real Madrid are reportedly said to be interested. Now, we have been linked with Gila before from certain outlets. He's 24 years of age. I think he made 44 appearances for Lazio last season. He's a decent player. He is a decent player. He's not too bad at all. Let's have a look at some of his stats here. So, front foot distributor, good ball carrier, active in the build-up, reads transitions well, and he's got good. So, look, these are some of his stats here. I don't know if you can see that, chat, but he ranks in the green in a lot of percentages per 90 minutes. And yeah, those stats look pretty good. Now, do I? So these stats from F Breath. Yeah, he's a centre back. Yeah, he's a centre back. And he ranks highly in a lot of good attributes. However, again, he sort of ticks the boxes that Chelsea will be looking for in terms of recruitment, in terms of the age, in terms of sort of price. Obviously, good ball carrier, comfortable with the ball at his feet, good bringing the ball out from the back. And that's what Chelsea are obviously looking for in a centre-back. Someone who is good bringing the ball out from the back. That's what we're looking for. That's what we are looking for. I don't know how serious or do you know, bro, I'd love please tell me who you think's decent, because every player that gets mentioned you say is shit, bang average, overrated. So just list me a few players who you actually rate and who you do think are good. Just tell me some, because I'd love to know. I'd love to know. I really would. But yeah, look, Gila, I'm not. I wouldn't be opposed to it if it came to it, but there are seemingly a lot of clubs interested. Lazio don't really want to sell him, but apparently they would sell for 50 million euros. Real Madrid have got a 50% sell-on clause as well, so half of that would be going to Madrid, that fee. I mean, 50% sell-on is absolutely mental. So Lazio won't be actually getting that much money anyway. So there's a lot of teams interested in him. Yeah, I don't know. I think it would be. I think it would be all right. No, I don't rate Felix. He's got talent, he's got ability, but he's got no end products and has constantly failed to deliver at pretty much every club he's been at. He's the classic example of talent isn't enough. But yeah, look, Mario Gila. Who knows, chat? Who knows? But again, yeah, it feels like, because we had so much. It's weird, isn't it? Because we've had so much transfer news with that first window from the 1st to the 10th. It feels like the window's been going on for ages. But in normal circumstances, without the Club World Cup, the transfer window wouldn't have even opened yet. And so it feels like we're being spoiled this summer. It feels like we're being spoiled. It feels like it feels like Christmas has come early in terms of the transfer window. in terms of the transfer window. So yeah, we got to remember it is still early days, chat. That's what we have to remember here. It is still early days. Thing is, mate, we're not going to get any of them. We're not getting any of those players. We fucked up on Elise. We're not going to get Vitinha. We tried to get Doué, but it didn't happen. And Liao. No, Doué is good. I do like Doué. Liao, I think, is very inconsistent, very hit and miss. But again, we're not going to get any of these. We're not going to get any of these players. You know, these are the players. We can't get any of these guys. We fumbled Elise 2 summers in a row. Like, Elise should have been playing for Chelsea. Should have been playing for Chelsea, Elise. But no idea. We haven't heard anything on Mudryk. We've heard nothing on Mudryk. We're still waiting. We're still waiting, basically, for an outcome on that B sample or an outcome on anything. An outcome on anything. You know, we haven't heard anything. We have not heard anything. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. Mario Gila, Araujo again is someone that Chelsea are interested in. 80 million euro release clause at Benfica is a problem. It is a problem. But let's wait and see. But again, this has been reported by an outlet in Italy. I haven't seen it come from anywhere, any sort of anything more reputable. But maybe in time, the Gila stuff might be reported more mainstream. We'll obviously wait and see. But I'm open-minded about these centre backs. Guehi would obviously be my choice, but you know, we might have a surprise up our sleeve. We might have a surprise up our sleeve in terms of in terms of a centre back. You know, we know there's interest in Jarell Hato, but in terms of a centre back who looks like it is coming, and this is obviously not for the Chelsea first team, but we might as well just quickly cover it anyway, chat, is that Chelsea will resume talks next week to finalise the signing of Motor Lublin's centre-back Bright Eid. When completed, he will be sent to Strasbourg on loan to replace Mamadou Sarr. Now, Bright Eid has made 6 appearances for this team in the Polish league. They spent 100 grand to sign him in January, and Chelsea are going to break the Polish record to sign him for about 11 million euros, and he's going to go straight to Strasbourg to replace Mamadou Sarr. Straight to Strasbourg to replace Mamadou Sarr. So, yeah, I would imagine that Bright Eid is someone who probably won't ever play for Chelsea. But again, another one of them signings for Strasbourg. I don't know why we're signing him for Strasbourg. Surely Strasbourg could just pay 11 million euros themselves for him. Maybe they will. But yeah, of course. Another one that's, I think we can safely say he's never going to be kicking a ball for us. I think it's pretty safe to assume that is going to be the case. By the way, guys, we're 15 likes away from 100 likes. Please keep smashing that like button. It's free. It takes seconds. Make sure you run those likes up, chat, and keep subscribing if you're new around here as well. Road to 20k. Every new subscriber is greatly appreciated. We haven't been a serious institution for a while, but to be honest, if we sign players to improve the first team and make big signings, then I'm not so fussed about this. It's if obviously the business is subpar for the first team. That for me is where these signings become an issue. Yeah, bro, that's because he's been injured most of the season and he's not kicked a ball for us. He's expected to go on loan in the Championship, but again, he's another one that I don't think will kick a ball for us. And that's the way we operate, and we just have to accept that that's what we do. We are signing players who, a lot of them, won't kick a ball for Chelsea. A lot of them won't kick a ball for Chelsea, and that's just the way it is. But yeah, I just thought I'd mention that, chat, because we are signing centre backs. We're just not signing centre backs for ourselves at this point in time. Yeah, we did. We paid 20 million for Kellyman. 19 million. Money well spent, I would say. Money well spent. But yeah, let's move away from that. I mean, let's, before we move on to attackers and stuff, let's quickly talk Kendry Paez, because there's a bit of a weird situation. There's a bit of a weird situation emerging, chat. A bit of a weird situation emerging. Because we had the news that Paez was disappointed to be left out of the Club World Cup squad, because last week he'd been told he was going to the Club World Cup. Now there seems to have been a change of heart, and Paez will now travel to America and stay with Chelsea during the Club World Cup. He's not registered as a player, at least not for the first part of the tournament. However, he will stay with the team and join training sessions. So why has there been a sudden change of heart here? Why? That's what I don't get, right? Why didn't you just take him in the squad in the first place? You know, you took 28-man squad when there were 35 spaces available. And people were talking about Strasbourg's pre-season and whatever. Well, he's now coming to the Club World Cup with us anyway to train in the sessions, and he probably won't be joining Strasbourg till after it anyway. So what was the point in that? Why didn't we just name him in the squad in the first place? Because him coming along, it makes no difference whether he's named in the squad or not. You know, if he's not going to play, he might as well still be named in the squad anyway. So, yeah, that's a real it's a real strange one. This is basically Chelsea trying to save face because they pissed off Paez with their shit communication and their shit decision making, and then they tried to sort of patch things up by bringing him anyway. But you can't play now anyway. Look, it's a bit of a strange situation. It's a little bit embarrassing all round. But it is what it is at the end of the day. It's just another strange decision. And you kind of just fucks the young kid around, and he's not even kicked a ball for us yet. And we're already pissing him off and having to go back on things that we've done. It's yeah, it's what I would say is far from ideal, chat. Far from ideal. Yeah, I don't get why Nkunku's in the squad and Paez isn't. It's a strange one. No, I mean, I think it's too early to say that. I think Paez has got a lot of talent, a lot of ability. A loan to Strasbourg, by the way, is absolutely the right choice. He needs to go and play regular football. There's no doubt about it. But Chelsea are in the wrong here. You can't tell any player you're in the squad and then a few days later tell them, actually, no, you're not in the squad. That's really shit, and that's not a way to treat people, you know. And Chelsea have been, you know, notorious for this. They have been notorious for this. You know, there's a lot of players at the club that Chelsea haven't treated well under this ownership. So yeah, I mean, I'm not really on board with it. I don't get it. It appears that way. It does appear that way. Obviously, it's a long window, a long summer ahead. We might get Nick Woltemade, potentially, maybe, or maybe Ekatike if the price drops. So, I mean, at the moment, it's looking like, yes, those two will be the strikers, but I'm hopeful that, you know, maybe later on in the summer, someone else may well come in. That's what I'm hoping for. Whether it does happen, I've got absolutely no idea, but I am hopeful that someone else might come into the mix. That would be great. That would be great. But right now, you just don't know. You just don't know, chat. That's the problem. But what can you do? What can you do? Well, their entries, yeah, they have, exactly. They absolutely have. No, look, I think we will, but I think it's clear that some of the other big teams in Europe are probably taking it more seriously than us. Yep, 100%, 100%. But I think, look, I'm looking forward to it, but I think it's clear, as I said, chat, that like some of the bigger teams in Europe, the likes of your Real Madrids, your PSGs, etc., I think these teams are taking this competition a lot more seriously than we are. A lot more seriously than we are. But I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good. It'll be nice to see us playing. Have you seen this? FIFA are moving fans to face Telegram. I mean, I've not seen that, but I know they're struggling to sell tickets. I know they've drastically dropped the prices because they can't sell the games out. You've got teams playing matches in massive stadiums that are never ever going to sell those stadiums out. The stadiums they've picked for certain games don't make sense. You're never going to sell out 50, 60K for fucking Inter Miami against Al Ahly of Egypt. You're not going to do that. So why that game is there, I've got absolutely no ideas. You know, tickets started at what, $350 or something, and they're now like $20 for a ticket because they cannot fill the stadiums. And just the tickets in general are just way, way too expensive. But that's normal in American sports. That's normal for their pricing. That's what they're used to. Stuff is very, very sporting events are very, very expensive over there. But if you want fans to go and you want to sell stadiums out, then don't rip people off at the end of the day. And I think that's exactly what they're finding, is that tickets are way too expensive, and the demand is just not, the demand for this is just not there right now. I mean, look, I think we will do our best to win the tournament. I think we absolutely will do our best to win it, for sure. But I think it's going to be a big ask with the likes of Real Madrid in it, with the likes of PSG in it and whatnot. I think it is going to be, very, very difficult. I think it is going to be difficult, but let's see what happens. You know, it's knockout football; anything can happen. But yeah, I think it'll be tough. I mean, if everything goes to plan, we're on schedule to face PSG in the quarterfinals, and that's probably going to be a difficult one to get done. That's probably going to be a difficult one to get done. But there's a lot of prize money. There's a lot of prize money in this Club World Cup, and that's probably in an attempt to get people to take it more seriously. That's in an attempt to get people more seriously. I mean, there's just been a breakdown now of the money involved. I mean, look at this, by the way, chat. Look at this. Club World Cup prize money, just for entering it, obviously depending, I think, on your stature as a club, between 20 and 29.6 million. You get 1.5 million per win in the group stage and 800k per draw. Chelsea should be winning all 3 of their league matches. That's £4.5 million banked for just winning your group matches. There's probably best part of £25 million, 26, 27 million for entering and winning your group games. There's an extra 6 million for the round of 16, an extra 10 million for the quarter. So even if you make the quarterfinals, right, Chelsea could probably bank close to 50 million quid for getting to the quarterfinals. 50 million quid for getting to the quarterfinals. And that money there would obviously make up for a lack of shirt sponsor like this season, because that 50 million would have covered that. If you know you're going to bag at least 50 million quid, why? But you couldn't put 4.5 million extra to pay for Munyan. These are the things that I don't understand. These are the things which I don't understand. So yeah, it's set to be a big money earner, and Chelsea, I think, will bank at least £50 million. But yeah, if you get to the final and you win, you're looking at making close to 100 million, which is massive. Absolutely massive. To be honest, I think they'll just continue with Damac, or they'll just go blank for the Club World Cup. But there should be information on a new sponsor soon, chat. There should be information soon. That's what's being reported. That's the expectation. But we need to wait and see. We need to wait and see. But that is absolutely the expectation, guys. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I've not heard too much on that recently. But look, you've got a chance. We've definitely got a chance of winning. Of course you have. You know, once you're in these competitions, you want to do your absolute best to try and win them. But my only concern would be is that if it's PSG in the quarterfinals, that could be a long day for us, chat. That could be a long day for us. But hey, maybe the Conference League winners have got something up their sleeve for the Champions League holders. Who knows? But yeah, look, do you know what? I am actually looking forward to it. Yeah, I don't get it. To me, I don't give a fuck whether there's a sponsor on the shirt or not. I'm not on the account, and I'm not interested in finance. I don't care about club finance as long as the club doesn't go bankrupt or falls foul of any of the rules. I couldn't give a fuck about finances or if there's a shirt sponsor. It's really not a big deal. I really don't care if there's a shirt sponsor or not. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. You know, having a shirt sponsor or not does not affect the way you play on the pitch. Tricky. I think Chelsea are viewing it as part of the new season. I think Chelsea are viewing it as part of the new season. Yeah, I would probably view it as part of the new season. It's also going to form the bulk of pre-season as well, because we're not going to have a pre-season tour this year. You know, we're going to do this competition and then we're going to do the rest of the pre-season at Cobham, and you might have a few domestic friendlies or maybe a few friendlies, short journeys to Europe or whatever. Bro, we're not selling Trev. We're not selling Trev. Trev's got interest from Napoli, but Chelsea are not actively looking to sell Chalobah. They're not actively looking to sell him, chat. I think it's 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Monday night. So one of them's at 8 p.m., one's at 7, and the other one's at 2 a.m. Yes. Big up to Jay. Yeah, guys, make sure you're smashing those likes. How many likes are we on, chat? 113. Let's get this up to 150, guys. There's over 200 in the building. Please keep smashing the like button and keep subscribing as well, guys. Keep subscribing as well. We're heading ever closer to 17K. So make sure you're smashing that subscribe button. Run it up, run it up. So yeah, that's the Club World Cup chat. I think someone asked me who I think's going to win it. Yes, big up, brother. Hope you're doing well. I don't really know. Maybe a Real Madrid or a PSG. Let's go Real Madrid. We'll go Real Madrid. I'm not sure. I don't know if the Mac's going to be on the shirts for the Club World Cup or not. I'm not sure. I don't think that information has been put out there. I don't think that information's been confirmed, guys. Well, there'll be some sort of rest, but it's not going to be big. It's not going to be big, and that is a concern. And I wouldn't be surprised, given the amount of football we've played, if we pick up some injuries early on next season, or teams that have been competing in the Club World Cup get a lot of injuries at the start of the season just because of the workload. That would be my concern. That would absolutely be my concern on that. We have to see. We have to see, guys. But I mean, yeah, that's obviously the latest in the Club World Cup. First game against LAFC on Monday night. Let's talk attackers, guys. Let's talk attackers, because Igor Tudor has said, I said something interesting in regards to João Pedro. Now, Chelsea were linked with João Pedro, and then Ben Jacobs came out and shut that down, saying we weren't interested in a deal at all. And there's literally been no links with Chelsea and João Pedro at all since then. The strongest links have been with Newcastle. However, Brighton centre-back Igor Julio, João Pedro has already told Brighton some time ago he wants to leave, look for new things, take the next step. He always told me that he really wants to live in London. So I think he will prioritise what comes from there first. Well, to be honest, I don't know if anything is going to come from London, because reportedly Chelsea aren't interested. I don't think Arsenal are looking. I'm not sure Tottenham are going to sign him. So I don't think anything is going to be coming from London for him. The fixtures for next season come out on Wednesday, chat. Fixtures for next season come out on Wednesday. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm not against João Pedro, but look, I think I probably prefer a Mohamed Kudus or a Morgan Rogers or someone of that ilk. But yeah, I don't know if this really means anything, chat. I don't know if this means that Chelsea are going to suddenly go in for João Pedro. I don't think that's the case. But yeah, just thought we'd cover that off anyway. But there's a bit more as well, by the way, guys, on Nick Woltemade, which I think is going to be interesting. Let me just bring this up, chat, because we had that information yesterday that Chelsea had reportedly approached him. We look at his stats for under 23 strikers in Europe's top 5 leagues, chat. There's a player here. He ranks in the top 3 in a lot of important stats in top 5 leagues for under 23 strikers per 90 minutes. There's definitely a player here. It's a unique profile. Now, I'm not, saying that I'm pushing for this or I'm banging the drum for this to happen, guys. But I wouldn't be against it. I would not be against it if it did happen. I think he's a fascinating player. I think he's really interesting in terms of profile, in terms of all the things that he can do. For his size and his stature, this guy shouldn't be able to play and do the things that he does. He shouldn't be able to do those things. You know, he's got so much tech for a big guy. So much tech for a big guy. Now, I don't really know how much money the guy's going to cost, but he's got serious tech for a big man, and that shouldn't be a thing. Now, we reportedly already opened talks with him, as we talked about yesterday. He's one of the most unique profiles in the game right now. You know, it gives you a different dimension, and it's rare to see someone like him in football. It is rare to see that. But let's get Euro Expert up on that. No, he's not injury prone. We debunked this yesterday. He's missed 2 games in the last 2 years, so he's not injury prone, chat. He is not injury prone. Let me bring up what Euro Expert has been saying. Well, Euro Expert is obviously now rebranded, but what my guy Alex has been saying about Nick Woltemade. It was only a matter of time until Nick Woltemade started getting links across Europe. He's a unique striker with a ton of qualities, a few weaknesses, and some myths to bust. Woltemade is a 23-year-old German striker and a product of the Werder Bremen youth setup. Only joined Stuttgart last summer. Let's have a look. Woltemade is 6'6", 6'7". Anyway, since moving to Stuttgart, he's made a pretty big impact. Not necessarily in terms of goals. 10 non-penalty goals in 17 league starts. But impact on how... let's have a look. Let's have a look at what he's saying about his... So it's positives. Here, let's go on the positives of Woltemade. So, since I mentioned it, let's talk about Woltemade's dribbling. It would be very easy to fall into the classic cliche here. He's got good feet for a big man. I wanted to make it clear Woltemade has great footwork, full stop. He doesn't just move on the ball like someone who's close to 2 meters tall. He can control the ball with all parts of both feet and is generally pretty skillful. He'll look to ball roll it past tackles or drop a shoulder and beat a defender. He's aware of opportunities for nutmegs. There are obviously limits to his mobility, both on and off the ball. He can't turn that quickly. Still, though, I do think there's good speed to how Woltemade can sidestep challenges and make small spins with defenders behind him. The numbers are pretty reflective of this. He attempted 71 dribbles last season, completing 31 of them at a 44% success rate, about around 1.7 per game. He's got good link-up play. First touch is excellent, and he's more than capable of executing disguised flicks, getting the ball to teammates first time in good positions. Can use both feet, and he likes the Trivela pass on the right foot. Who doesn't love a Trivela pass? What else? Constantly checking on both shoulders. Skillful. What else have we got? Jesus, this is so detailed. Negatives. So how's he scoring goals? Takes most of his shots from central positions. All but one across all comps came from inside the box. Most come with his right foot or his head. Those that are taken with his foot are done in a very repetitive fashion. So yeah, he's only scored once outside the box, chat. Anyway, point being here, guys, is that Nick Woltemade is a unique profile, chat. Unique profile. Bro, I don't know if anyone can be Zlatan. I don't know if anyone can be Zlatan. Zlatan is the guy. And Zlatan is the guy, chat. The guy. But yeah, I just think there's something that really fascinates me about Woltemade. And something that just really fascinates me because, as I said, chat, you know, he shouldn't be able to do the things that he does with a football at his height, you know, and for his profile and whatnot. And I think he's growing on me. You know, he scored a hat-trick for the under-21s in the first game of the under-21 Euros. Yeah, I think there's a lot to like. I think there's a lot to like about him. I think there's a lot to like about him. I don't know how much he would cost. I mean, he's a much cheaper alternative and a cheaper option than an Ekatike or a Sesko. 100% cheaper and probably better options than either of those players. Could he be a flow regen? Who knows? Who knows, guys? Who knows if he's a flow regen or not? But he's cheaper than a Sesko. It'd be cheaper than an Ekatike, I'd imagine. And yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. It's an interesting dynamic. You know, I'd be very fascinated to see how he does at Chelsea. You know, he can play as a second striker as well. He's not exclusively just a 9. There's a lot more. There's a lot more to him than that. There's a lot more to him than that. Yeah, under 23, yeah. Yeah, Crouch was decent. Crouch was decent as well, you know. And he'd give us an aerial threat. He'd offer us a lot, guys. He would absolutely offer us a lot. There's no denying that. By the way, guys, keep smashing the likes. We're 25 likes away from 150. Come on, chat. Let's run those likes up. Run those likes up, people. Run them up, run them up, run them up. Woltemade learned last season how to use his shoulders and body frames to protect the ball. On the eye, you think, is this Thomas Muller up front? Yeah, and again, it's unique. It's absolutely unique. Yeah, and he probably is a bit raw, like a lot of the players we're looking at, and like a lot of the players that we're targeting, chat. A lot of these guys are probably still raw, you know, but that's the kind of player that we're targeting at the moment. You know, these kind of guys are still raw. But yeah, I don't know, chap. I don't know. It's certainly going to be interesting. I mean, is it going to be Kudos? Is it going to be Woltemade? Is it going to be Ekatike? Are we going to try and do a madness on Morgan Rogers? Well, what we're looking for, guys, is clear. We want a left wing, and we're probably going to go for Gittins, right? And then the other attacking option, we want a versatile forward, someone who can play a variety of different striker roles, whether it's through the middle, whether it's as a 10, a little bit deeper. That's basically what we're looking for, which is why we've had the links to your Morgan Rogerses, is why we've had the links to Kudos, and why we've had links to these guys, because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a versatile forward who's got strong ball carrying skills. Who's got strong ball carrying skills. That's exactly what we're looking for. Look, I don't look. I certainly don't think it's likely, but make no mistake about it, chat. It's absolutely a possibility. You know, it can't be 100% ruled out, but at this stage, I do view it as quite unlikely. I would view it as quite unlikely. 100%, I would view it as quite unlikely. No, I wouldn't be too bothered about Woltemade coming in. I would quite like it. I would quite like it. I mean, would options of Woltemade, Delap and Jackson, is that good enough for Chelsea? Excuse me. I mean, in theory, you would maybe say no, but I don't think it's not terrible. But I would just worry about excuse me, a lack of I would worry about a lack of Champions League experience. That would be my major concern, chat. That would be my major concern, is a lack of Champions League experience, especially in that front line. I mean, just in general, who's played Champions League football in our team? Cucurella, James, Enzo, and Cole Palmer had a little bit of Champions League experience at City. I think there's 4 players that have played in the Champions League in the squad. Now, not that Champions League experience is everything. It absolutely isn't. But yeah, 4 players that have played in the Champions League. We had Sancho as well. Sure, but he's not here anymore. Yeah, Sancho's not in the... No, I didn't say he wasn't good enough. I didn't say he wasn't good enough. I was just asking, I was just purely putting it out there. Would that be enough for us? Would that be enough for us? That was the only point I'm making. Would that be enough for us? I think Woltemade is an exciting profile. I think he would be a good signing for us, But you obviously do want something. You do obviously want maybe a bit more established, a bit more experienced. But ultimately, you're not always going to get that. You're not always going to get that. Bro, who's saying Tosin played UCL? Bro, when did Tosin play Champions League? Because he didn't play it at Fulham, and he barely played for Man City. So I'm pretty certain Tosin has not played. I'm pretty certain Tosin has not played Champions League football. I'm pretty certain he hasn't. Tosin made an appearance in the Champions League. Really? I'm going to Google this now. Has Tosin... I think he actually has, chat, but this is like, I think he's played minimal minutes. Let's have a quick look. I would like to apologise to whoever that was in the chat. He has played... So Tosin has played Champions League. He has played 1, 2. He's played 4 times in the Champions League. He's made 4 Champions League appearances. 2 in 17-18, 1 in 16-17, and 2 in 16-17, and 2 in 17-18. So he's made 4 appearances in the Champions League, but I think only a couple of them were starts. So he actually has. So fair play. I mean, I had absolutely no idea. Yes, but he even said himself that he doesn't count himself as having won it because he didn't play a part. He played in the group stage, but he didn't contribute in the rest of the tournament. Yeah, and that's the thing. You need different dimensions. You need different options in attack, and very few teams are going to have any idea. They're going to have any idea how to come up against and deal with that profile of player. That is why it is so unique, chat, and would be a big string to our bow. I mean, look, right now, I don't think we're in a position to be offloading Mudryk right now. Oh, yeah, there's Nkunku as well. I don't think we're in a position to be offloading Mudryk right now because we don't know what the outcome is. So I don't even think even if you wanted to sell Mudryk, I don't think you can do that until the situation becomes clear. I think the most likely outcome is if Mudryk were to get banned for 4 years, then Chelsea would terminate his contract, he'd serve his ban, and then he'd go and sign as a free agent somewhere once he served his ban. I think that's the situation that we're looking at. What else is being said? Bro, is this in regards to Woltemade? Is that in regard to Woltemade? Let me know. I mean, I wouldn't call it. I mean, look, he's played in the Champions League, but I wouldn't be saying. I wouldn't be calling Tosin Champions League experience. I mean, I think that's stretching the barrel a little bit. He's made 4 appearances like 10 years ago, nearly now. I don't think that's really cutting it. Yeah, so I mean, we're massively clutching at straws there. Hold on, chat. Just bear with me a second. Yeah, so Woltemade has scored 11 headers. He's scored 11 headers. I mean, does that mean he's good in the air? I'm not really too sure. But he scored 11 headers throughout his career. And his career has been quite short, really. Right, how many headers did he score last season? Because that was really his main thing. Yeah, fair. He scored 1 header last season. 1 header. Yeah, so out of the goals that he scored last season, only 1 of them was a header. I mean, this guy is obviously... I mean, look, if you're basing it on how many headers he's scored, then he's not that good in the air. However, he's not just a big guy that you lump balls up to. There's so much more to his game, as we've discussed, in terms of he does things with a football and has a skill set and attributes that a guy of his size and a guy with his frame and his stature, shouldn't have. So in answer to, is he good in the air? He hasn't scored very many headers in his career, but I don't think teams play like that. I don't think teams play like that and just lump balls in the box. There's more to him than that. Yes. Big up to the under-21s. Yeah, it is weird. Like, normally you don't really see players of that size who are so technically good and can carry the ball the way that he does. You know, all of his goals, bar one, have been inside the box. You know, we haven't got someone who scores goals in the box. I mean, yeah, look, don't get me wrong, bro. Absolutely. You would expect someone of that size to be able to win aerial battles and, you know, dominate in the air. You absolutely would expect that. And generally speaking, yeah, you're right. That would be slightly odd to say a player of that height is not particularly dominant in the air. But then maybe you could also look at it and say that Stuttgart perhaps don't really play that way where they're knocking long balls up to Woltemade or they're putting loads of balls into the box. And because he's very good with his feet and whatnot, they obviously play that way. They don't just lump it up to him. So, I mean, if you put loads of balls into the box, I'm sure he probably would score a few headers. But yeah, don't get me wrong, brother. Absolutely, you know, it is slightly odd to have a player and a forward of that size who you don't really talk about aerial ability as one of his major strengths. That's definitely a bit of a bit of a strange one. 100%. I agree with you. That is a little bit odd on that front. I would absolutely agree. I would absolutely agree. What else are we looking at, chat? What else is there that is rolling in, people? What else is rolling in? Guys, we're 7 likes from 150. Keep smashing that like button. Let's get above and beyond that 150 target. Run it up, chat. Run it up. This guy seems like a bit of a fresh air on the market. Yeah, look, I wouldn't be against it. Yeah, look, I think we know Garnacho wants to stay in the Premier League. I think we know that Chelsea are obviously going to be one of the teams that are interested. That's not a surprise, guys. That really isn't a surprise, and it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. Yeah, we'll wait and see. But I expect next week, once the window is reopened, there should be a lot more news, chat. There should be a lot more news. Yeah, Ekitike absolutely. Yeah, Ekitike is overpriced. Ekitike absolutely is overpriced. You know, like yeah, he for sure is not worth the money that that they're asking for. No, he's not. But Frankfurt said they want the money. Anything on the Paez briefing today? Yeah. I mean, look, what I would say on that is, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal. But what is a big deal is that I don't mind Paez not like I don't care about Paez being around the group for the Club World Cup. That's great. Why don't you just register him in the first place? You know, it would have made more sense to do that. But is it the end of the world? No, it's not really. What annoys people is treating fans like idiots. That's what annoys people, because a small thing like this gets made into a bigger thing because of how chaotically things are handled, constant backtracking, ludicrous briefings, and all this shit. You know, in the grand scheme of things, this is a little shrug of the shoulders thing. Yeah, whatever. But they just admit you made a mistake or you changed your mind. They treat us like fucking 5-year-olds, you know? Why should we have any respect for these people when they show fans absolutely zero respect? Why are they lying about something so small? They literally could have just said, look, we had a change in heart, felt like it would be best for Paez to spend time. Yeah, whatever. The actual thing with Paez is not that big a deal, but it's the way they make us out to be idiots and lie and lie and lie. That's the main issue with it. That's the big problem with it, chat. Is because they treat us like idiots and they think we're stupid. They think we're absolutely stupid. And Paez was always going to Strasbourg. Well, no, yeah, but to go to the US, get more time with the squad, train with the squad, maybe get some minutes and whatnot, and then he can still go to Strasbourg afterwards. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Really not a big deal, chap. But yeah, I mean, look, it is what it is. We're used to these stupid briefs now. We're used to the club treating us like mugs. No, he's not right now. No, not right now. No, these are young 18-year-old kids who've got a lot of developing to do. Yeah, he's got ability and talent, but you know he's not better than someone like Madueke. Not right now, anyway. Not right now at all. Not right now at all, chap. Yeah, exactly. This is exactly it. You know, they don't do nothing they do instills any faith in us, any faith whatsoever. Nothing instills any faith, chap. Look, hopefully we get Hato. Let's see about Woltemade. I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of players that need to go. There's a lot of players that need to go. And outgoings are equally as important as well. Outgoings are absolutely vital, chap. Absolutely vital. With I think Noni's very direct, good at taking players on. Not afraid to have a shot. You know, ultimately, statistically he was our best performing winger last season. Now, whether you like him or not, or whether that means he's good, or whether that means that the wingers were poor last season, I don't know. But yeah, you know, Noni was statistically our best performing winger last season. That's the truth. That is the truth. That is the truth. That is absolutely the truth. Because that's what he's best at. That is what he's best at. You know, he was better than Neto last season. He was better than Sancho last season. He was better than all our wingers. Numbers-wise, he was our best winger. He produced the most output last season. Neto admittedly improved a lot towards the end of the season and put in some good performances, but Madueke produced the most output for Chelsea from wide areas. I would absolutely keep Noni, you know. Would he start every week? No, probably not. But absolutely as a squad player. Absolutely as a squad player. No, yeah, because he was asking for 250, 300k a week, which he did not deserve and was never going to get that anyway. The reason why Sancho's not at Chelsea is because of money. Because he wanted the same contract he was on at United, and his performances didn't warrant that whatsoever. That's why Sancho's not here, because he chose money over his career at the end of the day. That's why he's not here. And that is why he's not here, chat. The point is, though, we need to upgrade on our wingers, and we need to improve on wingers, and we need to add more wingers. You know, that's the reality. Gittins will come in. Is Gittins any better than what we've got right now? No, not really. Could it be better than what we've got? Yeah, absolutely. He could certainly improve. Yeah, look, I like him as well. And at the end of the day, you know, people are going to have different opinions on players, and I really don't care. No, again, nonsense. He wanted a similar deal to what he had at United. He wasn't prepared to fall in line with the wage structure at Chelsea. He wasn't prepared to fall in line with the wage structure. That's why he's not here. You know, Sancho's performances didn't warrant big wages. He did an okay job. That was it. He was okay. You know, he was nothing more than okay, chap. You know, I like Sancho, and I think there's ability there, and you know, and he made a useful contribution for us, but he was nothing more than okay. And okay is not cutting it. He was nothing more than okay. And ultimately, he thinks he can get his money elsewhere. Good luck to him. Or maybe he just didn't want to be at Chelsea that much, because if he goes back to the Bundesliga, he's getting paid nowhere near the money that he wants. Nowhere near. I don't know. Look, what I would say in regards to Gittins, right? Exciting talent, but has achieved nowhere near as much as what Sancho did in the Bundesliga, or Havertz, or Werner, or Nkunku. All those players who are bang average in the Bundesliga. Sorry, all of them who were exceptional in the Bundesliga have turned out to be bang average in the Premier League. Gittins has achieved nowhere near as much as any of those guys in the Bundesliga. Brother, I hope you're doing well. Yeah, excited. I'm ready, brother. I'm ready. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at, chat. That is kind of where we are at right now. Again, look, Chelsea have floated the idea of Robert Sanchez of Dewsbury Hall. So yeah, we'll let's see, guys. Let's see. Let's see on that one. But yeah. It's gonna be interesting, chat. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, look, a lot could happen, or not very much will happen at all. That's kind of that's the scope that we're dealing with here. Either lots is going to happen, or not very much is going to happen. I suspect a lot will happen, but we're gonna have to be patient, chat. We're gonna have to be patient. We're gonna have to be patient, guys. We're gonna have to be patient. But anyway, chat, we're going to have to round this one out here. Big yourselves up. Big up to everyone who's tuned in this afternoon/evening. Greatly appreciate all of the support as always, chat. The shows can't happen without you, so I appreciate each and every single one of you. Please smash the likes on the way out. Please subscribe if you're new around here. Every new subscriber counts, so smash up the likes and subscribe if you're new. Road to 20k. We're almost at 17k now. Keep smashing the subscribe button. Run the likes up. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night. I'll be back tomorrow with all the latest transfer news. Big love for the support. Up the Chelsea, and I'm out. Love.